Hello, welcome to the Rhino workshop. My name is Mahmoud and I'm one of your advanced digital design team. So this session is about Rhino. What makes Rhino special is the NURBS modeling element, which it's very good at. I'll be covering the advantages of Rhino, what is NURBS modeling, and how is it different to mesh modeling, and what are the potentials and uses of Rhino. First things first, what is Rhino? Rhino 3D is a popular 3D modeling software used in the design industry. Rhino can be advantageous if your design includes curved surfaces and lines because it's a powerful NURBS modeling software. So this is just a snippet from Wikipedia. NURBS, which stands for Non-Uniform Rational Basis Spline, offers great flexibility and precision and very good at modeling shapes. So a lot of the geometry that requires seamless curves, etc. It's good practice to model them in NURBS. So boat manufacturer, product design, people usually use NURBS modeling software such as Rhino or SolidWorks, etc. to model those details because mesh modeling does not offer the same performance in terms of curves. So this is just an image to show the difference between mesh and NURBS. So mesh geometry are made out of planar surfaces connected to each other, whereas NURBS geometry are more smooth and more accurate in terms of curved surfaces, and they are mathematically calculated. So this is an example of a mesh sphere. A mesh sphere is not a perfect sphere. Doesn't have any curved edges. In fact, it's made out of vertices. These vertices make up edges. The edges make up faces. Multiple faces make polygons. The polygons connected to each other make surfaces, and the surface makes a volume. As you can see here, the sphere is made out of a lot of different surfaces connected to each other. NURBS modeling is different, so NURBS uses mathematical calculations and control points to create perfect curves. And if you want to go into the detail of the mathematics behind this, I have a reference at the end of the page, at the end of the presentation for you to have a look at. The idea is through a series of points, the yellow points shown here, the Rhino modeling engine will generate a perfect curved representation of a line, and this does not include any breaks, or it's just one kind of element. A NURBS surface is similar, so a NURBS surface will be typically made out of 4 edges. These 4 edges, when combined together, create a local kind of Cartesian grid, and different ways of connecting the surfaces together will give you different forms. So, as you can see here, the shapes on the top of the screens are all made out of one single surface. This is different when you compare it to mesh surfacing, as you can see here, which is made out of multiple surfaces. So this is one single surface that have 4 edges and can be manipulated in different ways. And are completely smooth and mathematically represented. And the advantages of this approach to modeling is that you can model curved and organic shapes, and you can control them much more easily when compared to mesh modeling. And that's where Rhino comes in. Obviously, another advantage with Rhino is that it's integrated with Grasshopper, so it enables parametric modeling and parametric design as well. I recommend reading this book if you want to get more into the benefits and the differences of NURBS modeling in comparison to mesh modeling. The book's called Elements of Parametric Design by Robert Woodbury. Now that the intro is over, we will start by launching Rhino. You should all have Rhino installed now, and we'll just give it a second to load. As you can see here, this is the loading interface, and what we want is large objects in millimeters template. to start off with. This is the Rhino interface you should get as soon as you open Rhino. There's a few things in the interface I want to explain before we start modeling. The first thing here is the command prompt on the top, and this is kind of the engine of Rhino, so all the commands can be accessed through this command prompt. So for example, if I would like to draw a point, simple command point, and then it'll ask you for further actions or further parameters if needed, and you can either input this point through coordinates in 3 dimensions, so 0, 0, 0. As you can see here, we have a new point in the point of origin. You can go ahead and delete that. The other way of doing it is by putting in the command again and just drawing the point wherever you want. Now in Rhino we have 2 toolbars. We have one on the top and one on the side. This is your toolbar tabs over here, a way for you to access the different commands of Rhino. In the standard one you'll have the save, open, etc. buttons, typical to most software, and then you'll have your standard operations on the left over here. You will view your geometry and manipulate them in this viewport. So you have the perspective, top, front and right viewport. If you double click on the tabs, you can maximize the viewport and you can change the view settings from over here. So if I just go ahead and draw a quick volume here, you can see this is a wireframe view over here, but I can change it to shaded or rendering, etc., wherever I want or need. In Rhino, you zoom in and out using the scroll wheel. You rotate by holding the right button on the mouse. Oops. You can also zoom in by holding down Control and your right button on the mouse, and you can pan by holding down Shift and the right button on your mouse. On the bottom here we have the object snap tools. So if we have geometry already drawn and we would like to snap to a certain geometry, for example, if I want to draw a line from the endpoint of this line, at the moment I cannot select it, but as soon as I click on the end snap, object snap over here, I can snap to the end of the line. I can also do this for the mid, as you can see here, or anywhere on the line closest to my cursor. You can experiment with the rest of them: tangent, perpendicular, intersection, etc. On the bottom here we have just an indication of where our mouse is in the 3D space. We have the current layer, we have other options such as the grid snap. If we, as you can see here, we're snapping to every millimeter, and orthogonal if we would like to draw orthogonal lines. So at the moment the settings have set it to 45 degrees. If I take this off, you can see that I can draw the line at any angle that I want. On the right here we have the two most important two important tabs, which is the properties and the layers. The layers will help us organize our work into different layers. So for example, if you have a project, you might have a layer that is structure, facade, etc., for you to properly organize your work. And then the properties you can access by clicking on certain geometries and changing their properties, whether that's the display color, line width, etc. Delete that.